Hi everyone, Heather Coates with Environmental Health and Safety, here to talk to you about face masks, use, wear, and how to store them appropriately. So keep in mind that your typical facial coverings such as cloth masks or surgical masks are there to protect the other people that you're around. So COVID-19 is spread by respiratory droplets. If we can reduce the respiratory droplets that come from me, for example, and then it decreases the risk of somebody else getting sick inside of that work area. So one I wanted to point out, this type of mask, this is known as an N95 respirator. These are the masks that are typically being used by our medical professionals, and these actually do have a filter inside of them. So notice they have two straps. If you have something that looks similar to this, but it has one strap, that is referred to as a dust mask. So you typically won't be wearing an N95. Some people on campus who work in certain areas or with certain materials may be wearing an N95 already for their work duties. However, we're going to talk about cloth masks and surgical masks. So this is just a typical surgical mask. So you'll notice one side of it has a metal, a malleable metal bar to it. So you want to put your mask on from your chin up, loop it around your ears, and then adjust it to where it fits securely around your nose and your mouth. You also want to make sure that you fit that top malleable metal piece to appropriately fit over your nose to create a nice seal along the top of your mask. So when you're wearing a mask, for example, if you're working in a laboratory space and wearing a mask, you're going to be handling chemicals or biological materials with your gloved hands. Don't touch your mask. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your eyes, your nose, your ears, anything that could potentially contaminate your mask. To remove a mask of surgical style, remove it by the ear loops. So we're going to talk about storing it as well. So you can remove that mask into a Tupperware container and then seal it up for later use. So you want to consider, after you've worn a mask, you want to consider the front of your mask contaminated. So you don't want to directly touch the front of your mask because that's where your respiratory droplets are going to be collected. There's also masks that have ties, and these are great because you can adjust how tight they are on your face to make sure you have an appropriate seal. So when you apply one of these masks, you want to make sure that you tie the bottom first at the nape of your neck using a bow. And then you want to bring it up, fold it out. Some of them will have a metal piece in there. Make sure you fold that to your nose. And then bring those other two straps around the very back of your head and make another bow. See? There we go. So I've got a nice tight seal here. So removing these, you want to remove the bottom one first and then untie the top. And then you can do the same procedure on taking it off into a Tupperware container to use it for next time. Okay. The last one I want to talk about is a cloth mask with the elastic loops. So this one does not have a metal band in it, but so I'm going to put it on chin first, bring it up over my nose. But you see how loosely fitting this is? So this is not really appropriate coverage. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks. If you have a carabiner, a small one or a large one, you can hook it on one of your ear loops and then bring it around and clasp it together behind your head. If you don't have a carabiner, I have two large paper clips clipped together because that's how tight I need my mask to be whenever I put it on. So you're going to stick the paper clips on one of your ear loops so you can put your mask on, put it over your face, And we're going to put our second ear loop through the paper clip as well. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to adjust to make sure that I'm comfortable. So you see how much tighter this is fitting? I have a nice seal here along my jawline. Can bring it down a little more so it's not into the bottom of my eyelids. And I would keep adjusting a little bit along my ears to make sure they're a little more comfortable than what they are right now, especially if I'm going to be wearing this long term. And then you remove the same way by the ear loops into a container for storage. So cleaning your masks, surgical masks are not very easy to clean. So as they become contaminated, you want to replace it with a new one. Your cloth masks, however, you can launder them inside of a delicates bag if you have one. If you don't, I recommend that you hand wash with soap and warm water and then just let it dry on its own. If you have a mask of your own that you've been wearing out in public per the CDC recommendations already, feel free to use that one as you return to work. If you wear glasses, there are two methods you can use to prevent or reduce the fogging of your lenses while wearing a face mask. You can apply a thin layer of liquid dish soap or a layer of shaving cream and then rinse it off using warm water and dry your glasses gently. If you do have any questions about wearing a face mask, please reach out to safety@ttu.edu and we will be happy to help you. Thank you for watching.